Welcome to another episode of the Supply Chain Ambassador Podcast. I'm your host, Bruno, helping you navigate the world of supply chain in a fun and engaging way. On today's podcast, I have a very special guest, Antonia Roul. Antonia Roul is a graduate from the D&D Material Acquisition and Support Officer Development Program and a former mentor for PSPC, that's Public Services and Procurement Canada. She's a mentor for the PSPC Internal Officer Program. She has been in the procurement field for more than 15 years. She is currently acting Deputy Director for the Development, Contracting Policy and Oversight Team at Global Affairs Canada. Welcome, Antonia.
Good morning, Bruno. Thank you for inviting me.
Good morning. Can you share with us a bit of your journey to your current role?
Okay. I started my career in the procurement field at PCO, Private Council Office, which is the Prime Minister Department, where I manage contract for transportation services and research and development. And after I went to Health Canada, where I created collabs for economic assessment and translation services. I also bought their arts, monkeys, cars, mosquitoes, and supply office. In 2016, I joined D&D, where I managed contracts over $2.57 billion. At D&D, I bought goods and services such as armored vehicles, clothing, drones, IT equipment, etc. I also work with multidisciplinary teams to prepare Treasury Board submission and National Security Exemptions, the NSE. And at D&D, I also did, as you mentioned at the beginning, the D&D Material Acquisition and Support Officer Development Program. We call it the ODP program, which is a 2-year rotational program throughout the department to learn the various types of procurement disciplines being practiced at D&D. The program is intended to prepare participants to senior and leadership position in contracting and procurement. After that, in 2020, I went to PSPC, where I managed the portfolio of contract for clothing. The value was 40 million. My client was RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. At PSPC, I bought boots, gloves, jackets, and batons for the police officers. I also put in place a National Master Standing Offer, the NMSO, where the delivery was across Canada and where the modern treaties, also known as Comprehensive Land Claim Agreements, the CLCAs, were applicable. In 2022, I became a mentor for the PSPC Internal Officer Program. In this team, I was coaching and mentoring around 20 internal officers. I developed case studies, organized learning events, and corrected their exams. Since 2023, I'm now working at Global Affairs Canada, where I'm now an acting Deputy Director for the International Development Assistance, IDA, Contracting Policy and Oversight Team. My day-to-day job, I collaborate with different stakeholders and colleagues to modernize and improve local contracting processes in support of IDA admissions. My role is to provide the IDA procurement stakeholders information and training in support of IDA contracting to build a more comprehensive understanding of procurement under the Treasury Board Directive Management on Procurement and Best Practices.
Wow.
This is my journey.
Wow, what a journey. Wow. So much experience that you've gathered from your different departments that you've been to. That's fantastic. What would you say you love about your work?
I love the mentorship and coaching to develop the purchasing group community. I like to work with people and help them find solutions to improve their procurement and help them grow in their career. I also like working with a multidisciplinary team because I'm always learning new things. The procurement field is vast, and I think there is a place for everyone. You can buy plane, gas, clothing, boat, vaccines, language training. The sky is the limit. You can be in the policy side or in the operation side. So the opportunity of growing and learning is there.
Wow. Is there any common misconceptions about what you do?
So as I'm taking care of the training, most of the time people think it's people who are close to retirement who do the training. But as you can see, I'm not close to the retirement. I have energy. So I think if you have the knowledge and the passion, you can do it.
And any challenges that you've faced and how you've overcame them?
I would say the real challenge the last 15 years was the telework and COVID. We had to manage a team at distance and keep them motivated. And personally, working from home and not seeing my coworkers were a little bit challenging for me. But I managed it in keeping the relationship with them, in organizing social events online. We met regularly on MS Teams to play, chat, and exchange information on our files. I had to adapt to the new way of doing things or meeting the clients, but I'm happy now. We are back 2 times a week, so we can meet in person.
Yeah.
I'm a people
I
person,
was
so
gonna
for
say,
me it was challenging.
I can
I know some people say I'm just staying at home, but me, I need the human contact. That is
yeah.
Antonia.
There's something invaluable about meeting people face to face. You can't replicate that on Zoom.
Yeah.
What new exciting projects are you working on?
So currently, I'm working with the International Development Assistance Programs. It's new for me. The requirement is different. And for me, it's satisfying because when I work directly with people, I like support people and help people in the world. So for me, it's really satisfying. A part of my job is also to work with the Common Service Delivery Points. We call that CSDPs. I give them advice and guidance on contracting processes, policies, rules, and regulation, particularly on the IDA side. So for the IDA contract, there are some exceptions that apply, and I help my clients a total of 7 CSDPs, the Common Service Delivery Point, across the world that provide standardized transactional services in finance, HR, and procurement to approximately 25 missions each.
Oh, wow.
So on the procurement side, they review the procurement strategy and procurement package and help the mission. So sometimes when they have questions, they call the HQ, the headquarter, which is us, and I help them and support them in their work.
Yeah. I can tell that they would really rely on you and your expertise to help
Yeah.
buy all the things that you can buy internationally that probably is not the same rules as here in Canada.
No, it's not the same.
Any advice to listeners?
So I believe in mentorship, training, and coaching to develop the purchasing group community. So I will recommend to stay informed, to be aware of what's happening in the community, to know what is new, such as the agile procurement, the e-purchasing. I would also recommend to find a mentor beyond the Facebook group where the PG community support each other. Continue to learn, never stop learning. Learning is a lifelong process. There is always something new to learn. So exactly. So try to be aware of new tools, policy, directive, which are in place. Keep networking. So this is what I will say.
Nice. I echo that for sure because you get exposure to different kinds of procurement, different people, different experiences that definitely help you along your career. Yeah, having that exposure, just a little bit of experience helps so much because sometimes you get given weird files that you've never seen before and you don't know what to do. But when you've been exposed to things before, you can use that bit of experience to help with your new procurement. So yeah, I
And
could see that.
what I always say too, nobody knows everything. What is going to help? You can know where to find the information and who to ask. If you don't know, you know who can help. So this is why what is important to have a good network. I still use it. I still doing it. I still have my mentors helping me. When I don't know something, they tell you, okay, go to look for this there, go on this website, ask this person. There is always someone who knows someone.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And for me personally now, I know someone to reach out to when I'm information on the CSDP program, I'm gonna be
CSDP is more for GAP,
That's-
but it's important to collaborate, communicate, keep sharing the knowledge, and the community will grow.
wow, so many good messages today. Thank you so much, Antonia, for coming in and doing this interview. I really was excited to speak with you, and I have so much great knowledge just from hearing your experiences, your journey from the different departments you've been through, your exposure and your mentorship that you've done in the community, and also the great work you're doing at Global Affairs Canada. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And just to conclude, I think it's important to move to. I like stability, but I think when you move, you learn. Each department they have their own rules, their own practice, their own system. And it gives you another perspective because procurement is a gray zone. It's not a black and white zone. So when you navigate in all those teams, you can learn better. And as I said, and there is always something to learn in procurement. Always.
I think my previous podcast that I've done was with a department that don't even have a procurement team. So they outsource a lot of their procurement to another agency. So that's something that's completely new to me. I was like, how does that work? Or working in a very small team versus working in a shop with 50 other procurement officers. It's completely different.
And working at D&D or PSPC is not the same thing working in a small department. They don't have the same rules. It's completely different, but you learn. It's always a way to learn.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.